came into cricket was more than money. What came into cricket was somebody who's a marketing genius like a Shah Rukh Khan, somebody who's a financial genius like a Mukesh Ambani.
Very recently, I was going through your Instagram and I saw that you had said that the IPL is the best and the worst thing that has happened to Indian sport. Could you elaborate on that? Why do you think that's the case?
So two things. Why are franchise sports so big? Why is it important, or why is 2008 important? So people say that, oh, because money came into cricket. That's a very short-sighted way of looking at it. Actually, what came into cricket was more than money. What came into cricket was somebody who's a marketing genius like a Shah Rukh Khan, somebody who's a financial genius like a Mukesh Ambani. A lot of people who came in, the GMRs of this world, a lot of people came in with very different ways of looking at it. So what did they do? They started bringing other things into it, which is like the kind of fitness that you saw in the IPL, diet, the kind of diets, fitness, the kind of way the game was marketed. Why did that happen? Would the BCCI, the brains of the BCCI been enough to do it? No. You had lots of other people who now also had a stake in this thing called the IPL. So what franchise sport does is it enhances the talent pool of people who are going to build something. And I think that is very, very significant. So secondly, what happens is the moment you have private enterprise like that, a lot of barriers are cut. Like in those days, Ashok Dinda was struggling to make it to the Bengal side and the selectors didn't like him very much. Now, what would have happened? Dinda would have probably gone on to have, just gone under the radar, played a couple of matches here, got dropped. Now here, he comes. He plays for KKR. First, he was a net bowler for KKR. From the net bowler, he made it to the squad. From the squad, he made it to the 11. And after 2 years of playing, for 3 years of playing for KKR, he made it to the India team. Good or bad, to play for India is a huge, huge thing. Now, that journey would not have happened had the spotlight not been there on him. So, the ability, what happens now is if a state drops a player, for reasons good or bad, there's always another opportunity. There's always another camp. There's always a place where they can actually have a chance to shine. So private enterprise also makes a huge difference because it cuts through a lot of the red tape that stops a lot of people.
Right.
So these are the ways in which the IPL. Then of course the ecosystem. The ecosystem in terms of the number of people today who can survive off cricket hugely increased because of the IPL. And then that money came into the entire first class system. So those are all the good things that the IPL has given to you. A certain amount of professionalism, the way the sport is played, a professionalism, the way people are looked after, the way people diet, the way competitions are organized, the sheen of it, all that it gives you. Why it's a worst thing is that anyway cricket was dominant. So its IPL has sucked all the money out of the sport, out of all of the sports into cricket. Today hockey does not have money. People are putting money into hockey, but the truth of it is hockey doesn't have money. And the most important thing is everything is measured by how the IPL performed. And you cannot, because the IPL is a monster. IPL in 10 years, in 5 years actually became one of the top 10 leagues in the world, where leagues for, the Premier League has been around in 94 in the modern form, but in its own form, it's been around for over 100 years. I mean, the NBA has been around since the 1940s. NFL has been around for the longest time. So you're suddenly talking about a league which came from nowhere and suddenly became so big. Also, it became very successful very fast. Now, how many leagues in the world do clubs actually make money? Very few leagues in the world. Very few leagues in the world. I mean, the kind of losses, even a Barcelona recently could pay transfer fees. Okay, United has a huge loss. So, people now, anyone coming into Indian sports says, oh wow, I'll get a team and like the IPL in 3 years' time, I'll turn a profit. It doesn't happen in sport normally. So what it's done is the IPL has given people an impression that sport is this thing where you're putting in money for 2-3 years, you're going to get money returns immediately, you're going to get ratings immediately, and everything is going to happen. And these are not true. Sport is a slow burner. It takes a long time to build sport. So in many ways, the IPL bought a lot of stuff in, but it also bought a lot of impressions in about Indian sport, which creates a situation where Today I run a volleyball league. Somebody comes to me and says that, oh, in 3 years' time, my team will be in profit. Like, look at the IPL. And you say it's not. Look, I said, if you look at other leagues around where in the world do you find leagues like this going into profit so fast?
Yeah.
You don't. It's not. Sport is not like that. And if you don't, therefore, if you're looking at investing in a volleyball team just because as a business opportunity, then you look at it for over 10 to 15 years. If you're looking for it purely as, or you have to look at it as something that you're passionate about and really want to build and say that, okay, here is some real estate which will over time get valuable. Because that's the only way to look at it.